In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. He took 6 days to create everything.
On the sixth day, God created man in his image, and he gave man dominion over the entire earth, and everything God made was good.
So on the seventh day, God rested. Then the Lord took the man Adam and put him in the Garden of Eden to cultivate it and keep it. God told him he could eat of any tree in the garden, but not from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. If he ate from it, he would die.
God saw that Adam was alone and the animals weren't sufficient for him. God said he needed a helper, so he caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep, and he took a rib from Adam, closed up the flesh, and in that place fashioned a woman. And Adam saw what God created and said, "Humma humma, now that's what I'm talking about right there, baby. I'm gonna call her Eve."
So, now, the serpent. He was more crafty than the other beasts of the field that God had made. So, he had a conversation with Eve, and he told Eve, "Hey, if you eat from the tree they weren't supposed to, they surely would not die." So, Eve fell for it, and she ate the fruit and gave some to Adam, and he ate some too, and then suddenly, boom, they realized they were naked and quickly made some fig leaves to cover themselves.
So then they try to hide from God. But well, that doesn't work. He finds them and everyone starts finger pointing. To the serpent, God said, "On your belly you will go." And then God said this to the serpent, "And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between you and your seed and her seed. He shall bruise you on the head, and you shall bruise him on the heel."
And that is really important. Pastor Matt will tell you that in every single sermon he preaches. And then Adam and Eve get kicked out of the Garden of Eden for committing the first sins.
Adam and Eve had a couple of kids, Cain and Abel. They grew up, and Cain gets jealous of Abel because God liked the sacrifice Abel offered up to him. Cain didn't follow the directions and wanted to do the offerings his own way and not God's. So Cain kills Abel, the earth's first murder.
God calls out to Cain and he plays dumb when God asks him where Abel is. He said to the God of the universe, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Seriously, that's what he said to God. Cain is afraid someone will get him, so he leaves the area and starts a family of his own. Adam and Eve have more sons and daughters, and one son is named Seth.
Seth has a lot of kids of his own, and through his descendants, a man named Noah.
Things got really evil on the earth. At some point, the sons, or descendants of Seth, who were the righteous guys, got together with the daughters, or descendants of Cain, who were beautiful but evil. Well, this pretty much corrupted the entire world with sin, except for Noah. He found favor in the eyes of the Lord.
So God tells Noah he's gonna flood the whole earth. But Noah and his family will be saved, but he has to build an ark, a huge ark, so that all the animals and kinds can be saved as well.
Noah built the ark, and God caused the fountains of the earth to open up, and the rain fell from the sky for 40 days and 40 nights. Everything on the earth is wiped out, but God saves Noah and his family in the ark.
And the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat.
God tells Noah and his family to be fruitful and multiply. He makes a promise to Noah that he will never flood the entire earth again. And as a sign, he gave us the rainbow to remember that. But after a period of time, Noah plants a vineyard, gets drunk, and his son Ham uncovers his nakedness. Noah realizes what happens after he sobers up and curses Ham's son, Canaan.
Noah's 3 sons divide up and head out in different directions to repopulate the earth. Eventually, one of Canaan's descendants, Nimrod, decides to stay around instead of spreading out. And he built a huge tower to heaven to make a name for themselves. And God puts a stop to it by confusing them in different languages.
Through the line of Seth, Abram is introduced.
God told Abram he would make a great nation and bless him. The Lord also told him he had to leave his home in Haran. So he took his wife Sarai and Lot, his nephew, and after a few stops on the way, they ended up in Egypt.
The Pharaoh thinks Sarai is pretty hot. So Abram comes up with a ruse that she is his sister because he thinks Pharaoh's gonna kill him and take his wife. It doesn't end well, as you can imagine. Pharaoh finds out Sarai is not Abram's sister after he gets struck with a plague. Pharaoh has his men escort Abram and his family out of Egypt.
Abram and his family leave Egypt. Now both Lot and Abram had lots of livestock and possessions. They decide it's too difficult keeping it all together, so they split up and they go in opposite directions.
A big war breaks out and involves a bunch of kings. As a result, Lot is taken captive in the city of Sodom. Abram gets wind of it and takes more than 300 trained men with him to get Lot back. And that brings us to today's passage of Genesis 15.